April 6, 2:52 p.m. Big building. Empty lot. Could you maybe calm down a little?
Calm down? No way, Jose. Not until y'all come clean. It's for your own good, dang it.
Our intrepid reporters refuse to give up, even in the face of repeated stonewalling from the crew.
Look, you ladies need to stop harassing these people, or I'll have to ask you to...
You cops sure got a lot of nerve. Y'all are the ones who let Taurusaurus run wild. Hoping to hide the fact that they bred this menace themselves, the stack cling desperately to their story. Look, we're really not breeding anything. This is a movie set. Says the gal who told me she done seen Gordy with her own danged eyes. Sure, I saw something, but that doesn't mean we're keeping monsters here.
Alright, break it up.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth.
And Shaun.
Y'all are on the trail of this here monster infestation too, huh?
No, we're on the trail of a criminal. Lang Shi says, the darkness of a criminal's heart can sometimes be compared to a monster. That is to say, a killer is no different from a monster, really. Agent Lang, this is highly irregular, sir. We can't allow members of the public onto the crime scene. These people are important witnesses. I need them to be here. Well, Agent Lang, here we are. Where do you intend to begin? Let's start by summing up the facts. President Wang's body was discovered here this morning. He hadn't been seen since the night before last. Yes, he slipped off without his bodyguards noticing, if I remember correctly. So he was missing for over a day. And the last person to see him alive was you, Judge Gavelle, on the roof of the big building. Why did the two of you arrange to meet?
I'm sorry, but I can't say.
Not even to defend yourself from an accusation of murder? Why? Why can't you just tell us?
Please, Judge Gavelle, we're trying to help you.
Ha! She can't say because she'll only incriminate herself more. I know you had something to do with the president's murder, and I'm gonna prove it. Objection! You said yourself that the body was only found this morning. How do you explain the time that passed between Judge Gavelle's meeting with the president and then? That's exactly what I'm hoping we're about to find out. I'm particularly interested in what happened last night. So why don't you tell us exactly how it all went down, Shaun Fenn? Me? We know you were here on the set last night.
You were, Shaun?
We have testimony from the woman over there and forensic evidence from the footprints that proves it.
You came back to run your lines, right?
What? You were spying on me?
I'm sorry. I was just making sure you were okay. It was late. I was worried about you.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't need you to worry about me.
Shaun, that's no way to talk to an adult. She was trying to look out for you. Apologize this instant.
Sorry.
I've told you before, I won't have you speaking to people that way. Wow, this is a whole new Judge Gavelle.
It seems she's just as strict with her son as she is with those who break the law.
Are you listening to me? If I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. You must...
This is gonna take a while.
And I want you to remember that, all right?
Can we get on with the investigation now?
Oh, of course. Forgive me.
I don't think I've ever seen her so passionate about anything. I guess Judge Gavelle, the mother, will take a little getting used to. Are we to understand that you're accusing Shaun of being involved somehow, Agent Lang? I just want the truth. I need to know why the president was killed. And by who? And I don't care what it takes. I'm going to find out.
I guess it makes sense for him to be so determined. The president was practically family then. Alright, Shaun, perhaps you could tell us what happened last night.
Fine by me. I've got nothing to hide. Testimony about last night. I had a bad day yesterday. Messed up a couple of takes. We were scheduled to shoot the same scene again today, so I thought I'd put in some extra practice. And that's what I did. It's that simple. It's not like I haven't done it before. It was fine. Nothing happened.
You've been rehearsing late at night again? But when I called you yesterday evening, Shaun, you said you were at the hotel.
You called him? Around what time? Also, if you look hard enough on the top left, you see the Gaviners. Notice familiar?
It must have been 11 p.m. or thereabouts. It's one of our rules. When Shaun stays away from home, we have to speak every night.
Yeah, well, I wasn't at the hotel. I was here on set.
So you lied to me.
Sorry.
Woohoo, now she's mad. I think it's kind of amazing how hard he wants to work on his acting, though.
Nonetheless, a parent can't help but worry. Her child alone late at night? Anything could happen to him. And indeed it did. He got himself entangled in this case.
But he said nothing happened, right?
He did. Although I can't help but wonder if he was telling the truth. Well, we're going to find out. I had a bad day yesterday. Messed up a couple of takes. We were scheduled to shoot the same scene again today. So I thought I'd put in some extra practice. And that's what I did. It's that simple. It's not like I haven't done it before. It was fine. Nothing happened. This is the only instance where you could present one of 3 pieces of evidence. The monster footprints, the Taurusaurus head, or Shaun's rehearsal tape. So, you could present any one of these. Watch.
Objection!
Nothing happened. I'm sorry, but you're lying. The model of Taurusaurus' head fell from the roof of that trailer last night. Did you expect us to believe that you knew nothing about that? I don't know what you're talking about. Is that so? I told you. I ran my lines, I went home. That was it. What do I know about some stupid falling head? Or are you saying you can prove I know something? Sadly not. It's entirely possible that the head fell after Shaun left. No proof, huh? Then this conversation's over.
Objection!
No, it's not. What? The head falling from the roof isn't the only strange thing about last night. And I'm certain you know what else I'm thinking of too. What other unusual occurrence happened yesterday evening? If you presented the head, you have to present either the footprints or the tape. So, we'll do just that.
Take that!
This proves it beyond a doubt. Wait, that's... How did you... That's right, your rehearsal tape. Yeah! What? You have video footage from last night? We do. And if you watch it, you'll see that it was no ordinary evening. There's a footprint there already! There is, and I'm not sure that's an everyday sight, even on a film set.
Shaun, why would you keep this from me?
No reason.
Not the best!
Liar! That stuff might work on your mommy, kid, but it's not gonna work here. Why did you hide the tape?
Shaun, you have to tell us.
You? Look, I just didn't want anybody to see me rehearsing, okay? I don't like it. Ugh. Ugh. So, you were embarrassed? Is that it? Yeah. What's so weird about that?
Not the best!
That's why you didn't hand over vital evidence?
Shaun, how could you?
Gah! Oh, give me a break.
You know about it now, don't you?
Sure, the footprint was there, but I just ran my lines and went home. That was it.
What? And nothing about the giant monster footprint struck you as weird? It's a giant monster footprint!
On the set of a giant monster movie. It's not like there isn't all kinds of other weird stuff around here.
I don't buy it for a second. Chief, there's something hinky about this kid, sure as I'm standing right here. Dang Skippy, there is. He's hiding a scoop under them there horns, or my name ain't Lotta Hart.
Ah, shut up, both of you. I'm done talking.
Not so fast.
Hold it right there. What is it, Agent Lang? So it's just as I thought. Thanks, Mr. Prosecutor. This footage of yours backs up my theory nicely.
What? There was something else on that tape?
Yup. Look closely. See the costume up in the top left?
Oh yeah, the Taurusaurus suit.
Something's different. Did you see it?
I'm not sure. He's just kinda hanging out and looking a little saggy. Oh, and the zipper on his back is done up tight.
The zipper? Huh? That's... Yeah, I guess you all see it now, right? On the tape, the zipper is wide open. Why? Because somebody's inside the suit, that's why.
What?
Mr. Powers, that zipper, what can you tell us about it? Well, we always close it up tight when the suit isn't in use. That's right, Mr. Prosecutor. And do you remember something else I said not so long ago? Let me refresh your memory. What if your friend Gavel pushed the president off of the big building the night before last, and then came down here to the movie set and hit the body somewhere? Here? But where? There's all kinds of stuff down here. Costumes, equipment, you can hide it anywhere. And then come back a day later, last night, in other words, and take it out again. You're saying the body could have been hidden in a Taurusaurus suit? That's exactly what I'm saying. Isn't that right, Gavel? You pushed the president off of the roof just like I said. Then you hid his body inside that costume.
I most certainly did not.
Not so fast.
Protest all you like. I'm not gonna believe you. You're the only person who could have done this.
Objection.
I thought we already proved that would have been impossible. The movie set was locked for the time. There's no way Judge Gavel would have been able to get in here.
Not so fast.
What if she had an accomplice? What? I've got a little theory for you. I think you're gonna like it. Argument. Mother and child murderers. What if Shaun was waiting down here when Gavel pushed the president off of the roof? If the two of them were working together, the problem of the lock goes away. They then work to hide the body together too, by dragging it over to the Taurusaurus suit and stuffing it inside. You think the murderer was really that carefully planned? It was the assassination of a world leader. It could only have been carefully planned.
To suggest that Shaun could have been involved in this it's unthinkable.
Not so fast.
You're my prime suspect. What makes you think I'm gonna listen to a word you say? But what about motive? What reason would either of them have to kill President Wang? Who knows? But we'll find out soon enough. She was the last one to meet with him, and she won't tell us why. Pretty darn suspicious. Even you have to agree with that. Judge Gavel, I don't suppose I can convince you to share any more details.
My apologies, but that is the one thing I cannot do. However, rest assured, should that ever change, you will be the first to know. So please, you...
Have to believe me? Yeah, murderers have a habit of saying that. What about you, kid? Any weak excuses to offer? If so, now's the time to get them off your chest. Pah, I've got nothing to say to you. I'm innocent. Both as tight-lipped as each other, huh? But let me guess, you're still going to try and stick up for them. It's true. Judge Gavel's actions certainly make her seem suspicious. But nothing she has told us amounts to a motive for murder, or even the suggestion of one. No. And like I said, I'm leaving motive aside for now. For the moment, I'm focusing on means and opportunity. And for my money, these two had to be working together for their little plot to succeed. Yeah, sorry about the fib. Doing this is a lot of work. What if Shaun was waiting down here when Gambit pushed the president off of the roof? If the two of them were working together, the problem of the lock goes away. Then they work to hide the body together too, by dragging it over the Taurusaurus suit and stuffing it inside. The video footage doesn't show the inside of the suit. You can't say for certain if there was a body in there at the time, can you? Maybe not, but we can take a look right now. Let's open it up and see what's inside. I'd put money on us finding proof that it was there. Do you mind if we examine the suit, Mr. Powers? Oh, not at all. Might be a little ripe, though. Gets pretty sweaty in there. Huh? It's filthy. Yeah, that's weird. I always clean it out pretty good. If you don't, it can get kind of moldy. In other words, what we're looking at is proof that somebody other than you used the costume? That dirt in there must have come from the body.
I guess the president was lying right in the middle of that footprint. He probably would have gotten pretty dirty.
Exactly. Well, everybody happy? The inside of the suit is covered with dirt. It must be from when the body was hidden there.
Are you really sure about that? Because I don't really think that would be the case.
So our assumption is that the inside of this suit is dirty because the dirt came from the body. Would it be safe to say that's the case? Why? Is there a problem? The part of the suit directly in front of the opening is particularly dirty.
Yeah, it really is.
But look at the victim. The area of his body that would have been in contact with that part of the suit isn't dirty at all. If the victim had been crammed in there as you suggest, his chest would surely be covered in dirt. Gah! Fine. So what's your explanation? How did all that dirt get inside there? Based on the videotape, there may well have been somebody in the suit at the time. So who was it if it wasn't the president?
Come on, Kay, think. Where was it?
Is something the matter, Kay?
I've seen dirt like that somewhere else. I'm sure of it. I just can't think where. Dirt with weird little gray bits in it.
Gray bits? She's right. There is something mixed in there.
It was stuck to something else we looked at. Lots of it.
Stuck to something we looked at? An item of evidence, maybe? It's probably worth checking. Does one of the items we found have a similar kind of dirt stuck into it? Yeah, the mechanic's gloves! As Kay pointed out, the dirt in the suit contained small flecks of something gray. And? We discovered similar flecks stuck to an item belonging to somebody we recently had dealings with. The item in question being these gloves. You're right, the dirt does look similar. But, so what? What are you saying this stuff is? What exactly are these gray flecks of yours? I believe the gray flecks are concrete. Surely, they're flecks of concrete?
Oh, like all the little broken up bits around the footprints, you mean?
Exactly. And who did the gloves on which we found similar dirt and gray flecks belong to?
Chairman Winner! We found him in his garage.
That's right. We visited the garage at his home earlier today, and we found a pair of mechanics gloves covered in dirt. And if I recall correctly, a sledgehammer and a shovel too. Why would a pair of mechanics gloves be covered in dirt? I'll tell you why. Because somebody wore them while they used that hammer and shovel. They smashed through the concrete to the dirt below, staining the gloves with both substances.
Wait, so you're saying...
Yes, that we finally know what these footprints really are. It seems highly likely that they were dug by Chairman Winner. Highly likely? Pah! If that's so, then tell me this. Why the heck did he make them? What purpose could they possibly serve? Why indeed? I imagine he must have been digging something up. I think he must have been digging something up. I imagine events unfolded somewhat like this. There was something on this lot that he needed to unearth. In order to do so, he cut the chain on the side entrance and gained access from there.
He then used the sledgehammer and shovel to dig the 3 footprints. What was he planning? When he found what he was looking for, he backed it up and filled in all the holes. Ah, but then Shaun must have showed up, right? I think he did, yes. Chairman Winner would have had to find a hiding place, and the Taurusaurus suit provided just that.
Yeah! You got all that from a pair of dirty gloves? It's good, but it's all just speculation. We don't have any proof that he was inside that suit. He could have dug those holes and gotten out of here before the kid even showed up.
Objection!
But he didn't, and there's proof of that right there in the footage. It shows that Chairman Winner was still present when this recording was made.
What?
It's a shame that Agent Lang didn't notice it himself. But if we compare the situation as we see it now to the situation as it appears on Shaun's rehearsal tape, and compare that in turn to what we saw in Chairman Winner's garage, it soon becomes clear that the chairman was present. What part of this image shows us that Chairman Winner was still here? Simple. The duffel bag!
Take that!
Look at the bag next to the Taurusaurus suit. We saw the same bag in Chairman Winner's garage. The same bag, the dirt on the gloves, that has to indicate a connection, surely. Yep. I think that pretty much seals it. It was Excelsius Winner in that suit. And if he was in there, the president's body can't have fit. Good. It seems I've convinced Agent Lang of the flaws in his theory.
Somebody get to Chairman Winner's house right away! We need to know what's in that bag.
Yes, sir. Y'all done lost your minds? I can't believe what I'm hearing here. What is this hog's will?
This is all we need. Them right there's Taurusaurus footprints, dang it! Ain't no holes dug by no old guy.
I think I've demonstrated more than adequately that that's exactly what they are. Don't matter to me none what you just done did. I don't believe it, and that's that. I've done told y'all, I seen that big bad bull with my own 2 eyes. The giant eye peering in at the window.
I thought we gotten past that nonsense.
We ain't about to let that go. What kind of journalists would we be if we did, huh?
Responsible ones.
But I guess that's the whole problem. Wait, ain't like it was just about the footprints know-how? You were seen fraternizing with one of them there monsters. Ain't that correct, young man? By the young lady over there, if I'm not very much mistaken.
We're never gonna get anywhere with these 2 around.
Maybe we could prove to them that wasn't a monster either. They might finally drop it. What do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Any bright ideas?
Prove that it wasn't a monster. Fine. I don't suppose there's much else for it. Let's see what we can do.
What are you 2 whispering about? Y'all are hot or something, ain't ya? Admit it! Quick, Tabby, roll tape.
Hold it!
Could I politely ask that you both calm down? The monster the boy was seen talking to. We know what it was now. Huh? That's right. Shaun's rehearsal tape finally cleared up that particular mystery. It did? The point at which Miss Nichols thought she saw Shaun with Gordy, that would have been right when he was making his rehearsal tape. I think she mistook a certain object for a legendary creature of the lake. Your so-called monster is right here in this picture. Huh? I don't see no Gordy. That ain't nothing but a dumb snapshot. You're talking to a pro here. Can't fool me with no trick photography. What was Miss Nichols' Gordy, really? This camera. Right up here.
Take that!
That's right. It was a camera crane. That is what Miss Nichols saw, not Gordy. What? Shaun's rehearsal tape was shot from a noticeably elevated viewpoint. A viewpoint that would only have been possible if the camera in question was attached to a crane. all. How the heck was she making a mistake like that, huh?
Objection!
How indeed. Miss Nichols,
Yes?
you told us that you think you might need new glasses, didn't you?
Yeah, my eyesight got way worse all of a sudden.
And I imagine that when you thought you saw Gordy, he was quite heavily shrouded in darkness.
That's right. I only really saw a silhouette.
But what you done told us?
Skin like an enormous worm, you said.
Y'all about to try and tell us your precious crane up and grew skin somehow?
Ain't even no flesh on them there metal bones, let alone skin.
You're entirely correct, of course, about the crane as it was in this particular picture anyway. But it did have a skin of a sort last night.
I knew you were a scoop eater, but this is plumb crazy. You want Tabby and me to starve, is that it?
That wasn't my intent at all. But I do think it's time I finally put them both out of their misery. Gordy's skin is right here in front of us. It wasn't skin at all. It was this, the waterproof vinyl sheets.
Take that!
Miss Nichols told us that it seemed likely to rain last night. That never happened in the end, but I think Shaun may have covered the crane with rainproof sheeting nonetheless. And that, my intrepid young reporters, is what Miss Nichols mistook for Gordy's skin.
What?
Ah, heck. Well, Shaun, am I mistaken? You see everything, don't you? Gotta say, you're pretty amazing. I'm sorry, Miss Hart, but Miss Nichols' monster was no such thing. It was simply a trick of a light.
And just like that, the dream dies. Again. Chief. I think that may have finally shut them up. I thought the kid was holding out on us. But it seems I could maybe been a little wrong, maybe.
All right, we know what the so-called monster was now. Everybody happy?
Everybody except these two.
Agent Lang. The president's autopsy report is out, sir. It is? Let me see it. Death was due to full-body contusions and bone breakages caused by extreme pressure from above. So we have our cause of death. He was crushed. Just as we thought. Test results still haven't come back from the yellow substance found on his chest. But they did find gunshot residue on his right hand.
Gum shop residue? Guess he was a kid at heart, huh?
Gunshot residue, Kay. It's a substance left behind when a firearm is discharged. Its presence indicates that the president may have used a gun.
Really? But we didn't find a gun anywhere, did we?
Indeed not, which makes the residue something of a riddle. We'll need to read our report carefully. Well, Agent Lang, that clears one thing up at least. The president didn't die from a fall, which means he wasn't pushed from the roof of the big building. He was crushed by the falling Taurusaurus head, just as we said he was. Guess I have to accept that now. Fine, you were right.
Amazing! So does that mean Judge Gavelle isn't a suspect anymore either?
Surely it must. Both the cause and time of death rule her out. She met with the president the night before last, but the autopsy report puts the time of death at around 11 p.m. last night. And we know that the Taurusaurus head fell around then, too. The facts all line up perfectly.
Phew! What a relief!
Not so fast!
Sorry, it might be a little too soon to celebrate. What? Sure, I think we can accept that. The falling head must have been what killed the president. But that begs the question of what could have caused it to fall. Or who? We know it happened late last night, so we have to think about who was here at that time.
What are you getting at exactly? You can't mean...
I'm afraid I do. You did it, didn't you? Shaun! The kid's hiding something. He was right here last night. Right where the body was found. He saw the footprints. And yet he wants us to believe he knows nothing about what happened? That's a big ask, surely.
Objection!
We haven't yet established if the footprints had anything to do with the murder. So even if he did see them, that doesn't mean he was involved. Maybe not, but his face tells me different. As does the fact that he's shaking like a leaf. It does seem like Agent Lang might be onto something, but I don't think Shaun's going to talk. Fine. Keep your mouth shut, kid. I have a better idea. Why don't we let your tape do the talking? What exactly are you planning, Agent Lang? The police have some pretty sophisticated image analysis tools these days.
You would go to such extreme lengths to see my son convicted?
It's not ideal, but if the boy won't talk, we don't have any other way of getting to the truth. Detective Gumshoe, you have access to exactly such a device, do you not? Sure do, little V. Good, and that should make this nice and quick.
Mr. Edgeworth, might I request that it be you who carries out the analysis on question?
Why me?
I fear that Agent Lang might be inclined to believe the worst.
Image analysis isn't exactly my specialty, but alright. Are there new clues to be discovered somewhere in the image data? Zoom. Ooh, what's this? Eureka! What the?
What is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Let me see.
Yeah! What is it? What's the matter? Show me!
Mr. Edgeworth, the court asks that you share your findings.
Zoom in on the top right part of the image and look closely. There's a person there. It's the president?
Oh my!
What? You're kidding, right? Well, I'd say that's pretty decisive, wouldn't you? This doesn't look good for Shaun at all.
Wait, this doesn't prove anything. I didn't know he was there.
I don't believe you. And the image does in fact prove something very important. That you and the president were here at the scene of the crime all together. Admit it, kid. You murdered President Wang.
No, that's ridiculous. Why? Why would he? Shaun, you didn't. You can't have. Can you? What do we do, Mr. Edgeworth? It's hard to push back against footage like that.
Surely even you can't deny that this looks pretty bad for the kid, Mr. Prosecutor. He claimed he knew nothing about what happened, but the president's right there with him. Shaun, what are you not telling us? We have to know.
He's right, Shaun. Be honest. Now. It's the only way.
The truth is, it was all my fault.
Shaun, what did you do?
It was my fault the Taurusaurus head fell off of the trailer. Testimony. What happened while I was rehearsing? I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines. Then my mom called, and I left the set to go to talk to her. When I came back after the call, the Taurusaurus head had fallen from the roof and the president was just there, lying next to it.
No!
We did find evidence of a fire having broken out up on the roof.
It was just a tiny one, so I put it out myself.
So we're saying the president died because of Shaun?
If he did, that would make this whole thing just an accident. What did you do with the head after you found it on the ground? I took it apart, carried the pieces up to the roof, and put it back together again. Not so fast! You're saying you put out the fire and moved the head back to where it fell from? In other words, you tried to cover your tracks. You're a real piece of work, kid!
It's not like I did any of this on purpose. I really did just forget to turn the heater off.
Yes, and when the fire had burned through the legs, the table would have collapsed, and the head would have fallen down onto the ground below.
You're right. The fire caused the head to fall.
Indeed, and I also happen to have an idea about how the fire may have started. Those cans of paint thinner by the heater are pretty flammable. Not a great place to keep them. Not so fast! And you swear it was an accident? Seems a little convenient. What was the president even doing here in the first place?
How the heck am I supposed to know? I didn't see anybody, I swear!
I still don't believe you. Why would President Wang come to a place like this in the middle of the night?
His reasons for coming here are something of a mystery. It's true. He met Judge Gavelle up on the roof 2 nights ago. But he was also here on the movie set last night. Did he come to meet Shaun? I think we'll need to go over the boy's statement very carefully indeed. Which is why I'm pressing every single one. I went up on the roof of the trailer to prep the kit I was using, and I turned on the heater while I was there. You're a fit and hearty young man, Shaun. It's spring now. Surely you didn't really need to fire up that stove. He is a fit and hearty young man who needs to look after himself. Objection! Really, Your Honor. But if he resorts to such measures even during warm weather.
Seriously? You two are going to argue over something like that right now?
He's right, of course. You've made your point, Shaun, but I've told you before to watch how you talk to people. I think he was criticizing you as much as he was me, Your Honor.
Yes, Mom. Anyway, where was I? I must have left it burning when I came back down to run my lines.
You left it burning? You didn't think to check before you came back down to the lot.
I meant to, but I was thinking about my lines in the scene and everything else. It's not my fault I forget. Everybody forgets stuff.
I sure do. So much stuff. I leave the air conditioner on in Mr. Edgeworth's office, and the lights. I forget that he told me never to jump off the ladder on his bookshelves or make prank calls. But the one thing I would never ever forget to do is to turn off an unattended heater.
Please, Shaun, go on.
She's a lot, huh? Anyway, as I was saying, then my mom called, and I left the set to go talk to her. It was the middle of the night, and the set was deserted. Why did you need to leave in order to talk to your mother? I forgot I was supposed to talk to her. I got confused, I guess. I thought if I didn't leave, she'd find out I was out of the hotel at night on my own. That doesn't make sense. You know that, don't you? Fine. Look, the camera was rolling and the mics were all live, okay? I didn't want our conversation on that tape where anybody could hear it. He was embarrassed about being recorded speaking on the phone to his mother? So I ditched the rehearsal and ran off set as quick as I could. When I came back after the call, you pretended to your mother that you were back at the hotel during the call, correct? How come you couldn't tell her you were coming back to the set to practice your lines? Because she'd have phoned the hotel and asked them to send a car to get me or something. Of course I would have. A child your age shouldn't be out on his own late at night. Anything could happen to you. Children really can't seem to see things from their parents' perspective, can they? It's true the other way around too, you know, Mr. Edgeworth. All right, Shaun. Can you tell us what happened when you came back after speaking to your mother? Huh? Oh, sure. So I came back, and the Taurusaurus head had fallen from the roof, and... Were there any signs that it was about to fall before you left? I don't remember. I was concentrating on my lines. But a fire had broken out on the roof because of the heater you forgot to turn off. Did you really hear nothing the entire time? No, I had my headphones on. Why? I was playing the soundtrack of the movie to help me concentrate, and I was playing it loud. So yeah, I definitely didn't hear anything. Except for the sound of your phone ringing when Judge Gavelle called you. You know that cell phones vibrate these days, right? Anyway, the president was just there, lying next to it. Did you notice anything unusual about the body? I don't know. It was dark. He suddenly seems even more reticent than usual. I don't think he wants to go back over that memory any more than he has to, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure he doesn't, but is that really all it is? Should I push him a little more on this? Yes! It was dark, but you knew it was a body nonetheless. He's hiding something. I better find out what. Most people would cry out for help if they saw somebody lying on the ground. And yet, you didn't. Yeah, because what was the point? He was dead! So you said. What I'm interested in is how you were able to be so sure. Why were you certain that he was dead?
He was lying on the ground and that huge head was right next to him. Didn't take much to figure out what must have happened.
Objection!
You couldn't have guessed that the impact would have killed him. How did you really know? I'll tell you how, because you checked.
Fine, I checked, okay? I was scared, but yeah, I went up to the body and I looked, and it wasn't breathing.
So I was right. But why try to hide that fact? There must be a reason. Could you tell me how the body looked at that point? I couldn't tell if he was dead at first. There was no blood or anything, so it was hard to be sure. Nothing on his clothes either. He was completely clean. But yeah, he wasn't breathing. So that's how I knew he was dead. Thank you. I'd like you to add that statement to your testimony if you don't mind. I didn't know he was dead at first. There was no blood and nothing on his clothes either. Well, there's kind of a pretty good reason why. God, my voice is gonna die. Nothing on his clothes? Nothing at all? Yeah, nothing. Why? Is there a problem with that? There's something you're clearly hoping that we've forgotten.
What are you talking about? There isn't. That's not true. That's not true.
Unluckily for you, we remember it rather well. I'm talking, of course, about the yellow speckles on the president's chest. You've studiously avoided mentioning them throughout your testimony, an absence I find suspicious to say the least. I hope for your sake that you have a satisfactory explanation. What now, Verity? Judge Gavel.
Allow me to explain.
You? But
the yellow residue on the president's chest? I imagine it was from a bouquet of flowers. Lion lilies, to be precise.
Lion lilies?
2 nights ago, when I met the president on the roof of the big building, I presented him with a bouquet. They're a type of lily with large yellow petals. I imagine that the substance on President Wang's chest was pollen from those flowers.
Huh? But
they're not there in the printout from the security camera, only because the president is in the way.
But why give him flowers?
That is not something I am at liberty to divulge.
What? More secrets? Are you serious? First you wouldn't tell us why you met with him, and now you can't even tell us about the flowers?
My sincerest apologies, but all I can tell you is that I gave him the bouquet.
Objection!
A bouquet that was nowhere near the body when it was discovered. How do you explain that?
I cannot.
Ha! Seriously, Your Honor? Some things you won't explain, the rest you can't. Come on, you gotta give us something here. You wouldn't let this fly in the courtroom. What makes you think we'll accept it? Hey, you leave her alone.
Shaun,
I threw the flowers away, okay? You did? So they were there when you first found the body? Yeah, they were right there on his chest. And they were squashed completely flat.
Oh, I guess that makes sense, right? They would have gotten crushed along with the president.
And the pollen would have been smeared across his jacket front. That does explain things rather neatly. But why remove the bouquet and dispose of it? No reason. He's almost as evasive as his mother.
More secrets?
They're quite a pair.
There is no secret. I know exactly why Shaun disposed of the bouquet.
Huh?
You saw me leave the house with it, didn't you? Oh, I get it. When you saw the flowers on the president's body, you remembered seeing your mom with them,
and felt the need to prevent her from coming under suspicion.
No! You've got it all wrong!
That's his least convincing lie yet. Yep, the bouquet is added along with the fact that President Wang's autopsy report has been updated.
I often decorate our home with lion lilies. I imagine that's why he remembered.
So the flowers his mother was carrying showed up on the president's body. And because of that, he got rid of the bouquet and kept quiet about having discovered the corpse. Well, that ties everything up nicely, doesn't it? A little too nicely for my taste.
Why? What's wrong with nice?
I guess you forgot, huh? The kid also told us that he was responsible for the head falling in the first place.
Yeah, he did, but...
So he's still our only suspect! The finger of suspicion still seems to be pointing firmly in Shaun's direction. However, wait. I can think of a far more likely culprit than the boy. What? Who? The person who was holding Shaun captive until only a short while ago. That's right! We had to rescue him from a warehouse refrigeration unit down by the harbor. A refrigeration unit in a depot? Yeah. Lucky it wasn't switched on. Poor kid might have frozen into a popsicle otherwise. He was doing his best to call out for help, which is how we found him.
The sedatives had worn off by then, so he was wide awake and plenty loud.
Sedatives? Isn't that what you were given too?
Yup. We found the bottle on the floor of the unit. It was even the same brand. 3 Z's. Apparently it's super strong.
Well, Agent Lang, surely that suggests that Shaun is a victim, not a suspect. Somebody else was responsible, and I think they've been behind all this. Oh yeah? And this secret mastermind of yours was here last night too? That, I can't yet say. Ha! It's not like you to be so fake, Mr. Prosecutor. Sadly, we just don't have anything to tie our mysterious kidnapper to the murder of the president. So is there anybody else? Somebody other than Shaun who could have committed the murder? Of course! So I was right. The kid is still our only suspect. Objection! Not quite. I can think of another. What? Somebody who we just recently proved was right here on the movie set last night. Chairman Winner? You think he killed President Wang? Why not? We've proven that he was present. And if he was here, he's as viable a suspect as anybody else, wouldn't you say? Winner. Could he really have... It's certainly another possibility to consider. 12 years ago, he was... That number again. Look, a lot happened, okay? This was all 12 years ago or more. My father and the president being friends, our family being the ones who kept him safe.
Lang? Like the Lang from 12 years ago?
Yep. Good to see that you're finally about to pay for your crimes. Even if it did take a while for you to get what was coming to you. Agent Lang, what happened 12 years ago? It's nothing to do with you. I think it has everything to do with me. It's clearly connected to this case. Heh. And you can prove that, can you? Go ahead. Show me some proof that what happened 12 years ago has anything to do with this. Proof? If you can't prove it, this conversation's over. Does any of the evidence we've collected show a link between recent events and those of 12 years ago? You could present one of two things: the forged letter or the report on night, which is why I'm choosing this. This is a report about Bronco Night. It was sent to Chairman Winner by Warden Lagarde. This last part in particular should be of interest to you. Retrieve the package we laid to rest 12 years ago. In front of the planner? And that's not all. Take a look at this. This letter was sent to Rosie Ringer, the victim of a murder that happened the night before last. We don't know who sent it, but it does say this. Good luck getting your revenge for what happened 12 years ago. What? But... Something strange is going on, Agent Lang. Miss Ringer was murdered the night before last, and President Wang not long afterward. There's a connection between the two murders. There has to be. And I believe we can trace that connection to events 12 years in the past. Am I wrong? These are old wounds you're opening here. Insults to my family name. Please, Agent Lang. We need to know.
Who on earth was that?
Shifu! Huh? What are you all doing here?
We came to find you, sir. We heard you were looking into the incident from 12 years ago.
Idiots! I'm not your boss anymore. Get back to your duties right now!
We can't do that, sir.
What? You're disobeying a direct order?
Please, sir. I'm begging you.
We all are.
You have to reopen the investigation into the SS5 incident.
We know you can't let it go until you figured out what happened. And we can't either.
Well, Agent Lang, it seems your former underlings want the events of the past explained too.
You think it's that easy? That you could solve the case just like that?
I think we can. Together.
Ha! Well, alright then. Offer accepted. Yes! Seafood! Seafood! Seafood!
Nice. Then I guess it's my turn to step up. I'm sorry, Kay. You're looking into a case from the past, right? I just happen to have something that'll help with that.
Ah, you mean Mr. Thief?
Sure do. If you can give me the details of the incident, I can rustle up a little simulation for you.
Sadly, we don't have the files relating to the case.
Huh? How come?
Access to those files is restricted. They're top secret.
Really?
Why? Beats me. Somebody must have something to hide. Even I've never seen them. Everything I know, I read in newspaper articles from the time.
That's fine. Just tell us what you can.
Alright.